What is going down, my YouTube family? It is your boy Zary from the XMG coming at you tonight to talk to you about Kirri for noobs. Pretty excited to make this. I am trying a different format, so you gotta let me know what you think about it. There's going to be some transitions in the topics, and those transitions are just going to be stills for now. And if you like this, I'll make a video, for the transitions. And big shout out to my boy Hossboss for letting me borrow a webcam until mine comes in. So that is cool. Yeah. So let's get into it. I'm pumped about this. But before we get into it, just if you are finding me for the first time, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It will mean more to me than you ever know. Got some big stuff planned for the channel. So got a collab coming up with my boy Carfanax, and I got some good things planned. So look forward to that. And for all you XMG family members out there, thank you so much for the love, the support. Can't do it without you all. Just truly blessed. So without further ado, let's jump into Kirri for noobs. So here we are. We have Kirri, and we have her maxed out. She is a Demon Defender Dragon Slayer. Kirri is a very cool character, and I have spent quite a lot of time breaking her down, and I'm really excited to bring you this noob series for her. She is the character in the Battle Pass that starts today. So I thought what better time to get it out to everybody and to show everybody what we got going on. So let's do what we always do and get into the stats of this character and break it down. Okay, so starting with physical damage. Kirri is a physical damage dealer, and she comes in at 2699. That is 31st overall in the game for a physical damage dealer, so definitely near the bottom, but she is a tank, so you want to keep that in mind. Then her crit chance comes in at 20.85, which is right around middle of the pack. She actually has a better starting crit chance than More Doom, so keep that in mind. I mean, for a tank defender, definitely not terrible. About middle of the pack, she's coming in a little bottom of the middle pack, but she does have a higher starting crit chance than somebody like a More Doom, and I'm going to talk a little bit about crit chance later on, so keep that in mind. So then we come on to her health and shield combination. Her health and shield combination is absolutely fantastic. We are over 70,000 health and shield combination, people. Unbelievable. Just to put it in terms, her health pool is 30,855. That comes in at the third highest in the game. Her shield, 39,338. Again, third highest in the game. Awesome. Then her physical armor comes in at 40.3. And her magic armor comes in at 36.82. Now, her physical armor is the fourth best in the game to start, and her magic armor is 12th best in the game to start. So she is tanky, and she is what you want in a defender. Health and shield pool, really high, good armor. Real big plus for her. Then we are looking at her speed. Now, she is the, the 6th slowest character in the game, but she is the 3rd fastest defender. So speed isn't too bad. It's about where we expect it to be for a defender. Potency, 42% potency. Unbelievably good. That potency comes in at 10th best in the game to start. Tenacity, 36% to start. Comes in at the 4th best in the game. Just, wow. Her stats are really good. So looking at her stats here, what did we learn? We learned her stats, honestly, are just phenomenal. Now, her speed leaves something to be desired. We'll kind of go over that. But her health and shield combination are just fantastic. Physical armor is really good. Magic armor, still very good to start. Critical chance isn't too bad, and I'll kind of go over that. I normally don't talk about that for tanks, but we'll kind of go over that in a minute. So honestly, and her potency is unbelievable to start. So let's take a look at that and see where we can go from there when we get into abilities. Alright, her first ability, Unhelping Hand. At level 6, it deals 260 physical damage to an enemy, 50% chance to inflict heal block for 2 turns. If a target is inflicted by heal block, it inflicts bleeding for 2 turns. So, wow. what are we dealing with here? We're dealing with a high percentage of physical damage. 260 isn't bad. 50% chance to inflict healing block for 2 turns. So you have that double tenacity potency check, but her potency is starting very well, and it is my recommendation that you put potency on this character. Heal block is just devastating. Absolutely devastating. Then if the character is already heal blocked, you get bleeding for 2 turns. So a damage over time, extremely good. Jumping into her ability 2, Smashing Hurricane. 240 physical damage to all enemies. So we have an AoE. Recovers health equal to 50% of the damage dealt. Okay, so we know health and damage. And then 50% chance to decrease the turn meter by 15%. So potency, again, we're seeing potency with a double potency tenacity check. And then if an enemy is slowed, it decreases the turn meter 2 times more. So it decreases the turn meter by 30% if they are slowed. So we are really, really looking for some Kyra synergies here. But again, we take away from Smashing Hurricane. We take away the fact that she's healing herself for 50% of the damage dealt. So that could go into, you have your health pool, and then you also have your critical chance. And that's why I was talking about critical chance with her, because if she crits, you're getting back more health because the damage dealt is higher. So we'll kind of get into that when we go over runes. Then her third ability, You Can Do Better. Gains taunt and an armor increase for 2 turns. Recovers 10% of the turn meter for each living demon in the party, and then recovers shield equal to 20% of her maximum health. So she is feeding herself turn meter if she's run with demons. Now, you're also recovering 20% of your maximum health in the form of a shield. So on her A2, she's replacing her health, and on her A3, her taunting mechanism, she's replacing her shield. But it's based off of health. So we're seeing a lot of synergy with health here. Her passive ability, Fidget. She recovers 15% of the turn meter for each hit received. So every time somebody hits her, she is recovering 15% of her turn meter. And then recovers 10% of shield for each counterattack. Now, I misspoke earlier when I broke this character down. I thought it was if somebody counterattacked her, she received the shield. And it's not. It's when she counterattacks. So you'll see why running her with Kyra is almost a must. Because every time, she'll use her Go Dark ability, she gets the counter chance, and then people are hitting her. Obviously, it's feeding her turn meter, so it doesn't last as long, but every time she counterattacks, she recovers 10% of her shield. So we're seeing shield also. So let's break this down a little bit. We saw a lot of damage. We saw a lot of potency needed. We saw a lot of health, and we saw shield. So what do we want to do here? Now, I ran her with different runes. I tried putting speed runes on her, which you don't normally want to do with a tank, but I tried doing that. And it was kind of successful. I tried running her with health and a critical chance. I tried running her with damage and health, damage critical chance, damage potency. And the way I found to most successfully run her, in my opinion, is I put on 2 potency sets and a health set. And I looked for secondary stats of speed, critical chance if it was there, health, and damage. Now, critical chance is the one where if it's not there, it's not the end-all be-all. But you want potency in the secondaries, you want damage, and you want speed. Now, for tanks, I normally say we get tanks between 120, 130 range, and we're good to go. Not with her. We want her to go fast, because the faster she goes, because constantly she's going to get hit. And she's going to drop that turn meter, and it's going to go up and down and up and down and up and down, and she's going to lose the taunt, pick it back up. And we want her to blow through that. And by putting speed on her, it's really been beneficial. And the game testing I have done, I've just found it to be very beneficial. So I'm going to rune her with my 2-dot green runes, and I'll be right back. Okay, so we are back here, and we have Kirri. And I went with the health and the potency. Now, getting shield on there isn't bad, but you want primarily health, I found, because she recovers 50% of her health, where she's really only recovering 10% of her shield. So having more health is definitely more beneficial. Definitely more beneficial. So let's just break the runes down. And again, I'll kind of show you what I did here. Obviously, we have damage in the primary northern rune with speed, armor, potency, and health. Then in the northeastern rune, I went for the speed primary. You could go health, you could go damage, but the speed primarily really gives her that boost. Then I went with health, some tenacity, armor, and potency. Southeastern rune, obviously we have the armor primary. Armor, health, potency, and speed. Then I went for the health primary in the southern rune. Now you could go crit chance here to try to up her damage for when she does crit, but I found the health to be more important because she is recovering her health and stuff is regenerated based on her health. Then we have speed, crit chance, damage, and more potency. Then I went for health here in the southwestern rune with speed, health, damage, and potency. And then I went for the potency primary here with health, speed, damage, and damage. Now you might say, and that is a hell of a lot of potency, and it is. The yellow here is your rune increase, and then the green here is your artifact increase. And obviously I'm not putting artifacts on here because we don't have them yet. So, physical damage, I only brought up 122, and I'm okay with that. This isn't the kind of build I'm going for with her. I'm going for the potency, health, and speed build, and it really works out well. I had a 2.1% critical chance, and here is where we really took off. I added 5,555 health, bringing her to 36,410. Then her shield, we didn't add a thing, but it's almost already at 40,000. So combined, we are over, 75,000. So that is awesome. Physical armor brought up 2%, and magic armor brought up 2.7%. Her secondaries, we got her speed up 37 to 148, and that is really, really good. But look at that potency, almost 100%, which means she's going to land that heal block. She is going to decrease turn meter, and that is what I've really found to be most beneficial with her. And we brought that up to 97.57%, added 1.2% of potency at 37.27. So really, again, can't go wrong there. Super happy with what we did with her runes. So let's get into her abilities and scroll syncing her. Now, I will have gameplay footage at the end of this like I always do, and it is more than normal. There's her versus a whole bunch of different teams. I won some, I lost some, and I'll kind of get into that later on in my thoughts and breakdowns, but I want to let you all know that. So let's take a look at her A1 ability. Now remember, everything's at level 2, and her A1 ability deals 125 physical damage, 30% chance to inflict heal block. And as we go up, we get more damage, more heal block, damage, heal block lasts 1 turn, and at level 6, heal block, and then put on the bleed. A2 ability at level 2, it deals 120 physical damage to all enemies, recovers health equal to 20% of the damage dealt. And then as we go up, she gets more healing and more damage, more physical damage. And then here, at level 6, she gets the chance to decrease turn meter by 15%. So that is where the majority of that move comes in. Taunting mechanism at level 2, she gains taunt for 2 turns and recovers 2% of the turn meter for each living demon in the party. Then she has 1% turn meter, 1% turn meter. Then she gains an armor increase with 1% turn meter, and then here at level 6, she gains the taunt, she gains the health equal, or shield equal to 20% of her maximum health. Then her Fidget passive ability recovers 5% turn meter for each hit received. 3, she gets 10%, 4, 15%, 20%, or 15%, and then the counterattack, and then the 10% for shield for the counterattack. So how are we going to scroll sync her? Well, let's talk about what is the most important build for her to do. And obviously, that is, you want her to taunt. She is the tank. So we're going to take her taunting mechanism right to level 6. Right out of the gate, it's going to be super beneficial for that. Then I'm going to come to her basic here. And what we are going to do is we are going to take that up to level 3. Just so we get more chance for the heal block. You could take it up to level 4. So you have the 50% heal block, but at level 3, I really found that to be a good stopping point. You're not sinking a lot of blue scrolls into it, and you are good to go there. Then we are going to come to the passive ability, and we are just going to take that again to level 3. So she's just recovering 10% turn meter for each hit received. 10%'s a lot. And if you're fighting goblins and they're constantly attacking her, you know, that's a lot of turn meter to feed yourself, and it's a minimum blue scroll investment. Then we are coming to her smashing hurricane and taking that right to level 6, going to her basic, finishing that off at level 6, and then finishing off her passive to level 6. So it's the best way to kind of do it because you're getting the taunting mechanism right off the bat. Then you're increasing the basic to do a little bit more, her passive to do a little bit more, going to her A2, finishing that off, and then finishing off her basic, and then finishing off her passive ability. So popping up on your screen right now, you're going to be seeing my tier list. And, you know, Kirri is absolutely phenomenal. So where does she rank for me? She ranks for me in the legendary category. She is a legendary character. She is going to give Tromgar and Little Baddie a run for their money as the best tank in the game. She has plug-and-play viability. She is really, really good. And if you're going to wail on a character, she is very good in a demon team. And in the gameplay, you'll see I ran a demon comp with Mordoom. I've run a demon comp with Shadar. And the best one I found is taking out Mordoom, putting in her for that spot for Shadar. Or with Shadar, Xantera, Slinger Lead, and Kyra. Just the best overall team I have found to run with her. Although, I do have to say this, and Dragon Law Gaming hit it right on the head. She struggles against elves, and she struggles against goblins because, well, if the goblins have Dr. Frank. If the goblins don't have Dr. Frank, she steamrolls them. But with Dr. Frank, the daze shuts her down. And if she's fighting Mordoom, the Mordoom takes away her taunt. Now, that's why you want the speed on her, because the faster she goes, she might have the daze, and she might have her taunt removed by Mordoom, and then it really just helps her out to get that taunt back up. But also, Thaleen, or however you say her name, the new elf, Thaleen, who's coming out also tomorrow, she struggles against her because she can daze on her basic. And the elf meta that could be coming, but you need a lot of pieces for that. You need her, you need Count Delman to really, really be effective. And that I was going at about 50% a pop. I'd win them, I'd lose them. It all really depended on if she got stuck with the daze. So if that, that is really what shuts her down, is a dazing ability. But she is so good at what she does. Absolutely phenomenal character. She does have some synergies outside of the demon party. Obviously, she's at best being run with demons, but she has really good synergy because of her bleed on her A1. So let's talk about that for a minute. And in one of the videos you'll see, I ran her, and it didn't really go well, so it's going to take some tinkering, but I just wanted you guys to see it. I put her in the bleed team. I had a Reval lead with Snorri, Hard Orc, her, and then I just put in Renara for the revive. Now, you could go Zira lead there, and because Zira does the heal block on her AoE, which what she does on her basic then is she adds bleed, which beefs up Reval. And I really think that, tinkering with that a lot more than I have, that's definitely a possibility that she could be the tank for that bleed team, because there's a lot of glass cannons on that bleed team, and I really feel that she could be good. You put in a Zira lead, possibly Reval, Snorri, Hard Orc, and then her, and you really have some potential to do something good there with a bleed team. So she does have viability outside of her faction, 100%, but she is a legendary character in my opinion, and she could possibly be the best tank in the game. She does not have the plug and play viability of a Tromgar, I will give you that, but there are so many different ways you could rune her. You could rune her as a damage build with health. You could rune her as all health. You could put her armor through the roof. There's just so many things you can do with her, depending on how you want to build her. It's just for me with the speed on there so she can get that taunt up faster because she's just constantly just going all the time. She has the heal block, the bleed, decreasing turn meter on her AoE. And then you have somebody like Shadar who feeds her turn meter too. You're just constantly decreasing their turn meter. And she probably, and I didn't test this, but she could have possible synergy in the raid on that turn meter manipulation team. So it's just something to play around with as well. But she is a super, super cool character and definitely, for me, a legendary. All right, everybody, that's what I got for you today. Like I said, I got the new the newer webcam. My webcam will be here soon, and so that's what I got for everybody. So let me know what you guys think of this format. That is the question for today. What do you think of the format, and what do you think of Kirri? Because I think she is going to be something special, and theory of crafting could be through the roof. So let me know what you think on that one. I'm going to leave you guys with gameplay. Again, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I love y'all. I'll see you in the next one. I'm out.